I'm all alone in this chat room, in this stream that I can see. I'm all alone in this video because my stream just died and they're coming back. I really hope so, but I don't know if it will happen. But here I sit waiting for them to come in to the chat. I want to know what love is. Hi there. I'm back. So, I don't know what just happened there. I wish I did. It was awful. It was awful. I had to restart my entire computer. Don't know if this one's gonna work either. I don't know what happened. I don't know at all. And it was very annoying. Gotta be honest with you. So, thanks for coming back. We'll see what happens. I wanted to see. There it is. Okay, there's the stream. This one looks like it's going okay. Welcome back, Mike Savage, Blarg, Lord Stanhope, Kara Soldier, Resolute Germ, Tyler F, number one. Everyone's back, coming in. Okay. So that kind of screws things up the way I had things ready to go. And I was already short on time, and now I'm even more short on time. And I don't really know at this point what I was talking. I was still on Christmas. Well, Christmas and Boxing Day. Speaking of Christmas, I wanted to show a video of a young lady who, well, let's just say her Christmas wasn't necessarily as good as she had planned. I'm going to put it that way, okay? Avocado Day, would that happen at a convenient time? I had to talk to people to schedule a test anyway. Well, I had to take a dump, so while my computer is starting up, I took care of business. Anyway, this isn't working yet either. I gotta. Good Lord. See, when you leave and come back, you have to fix everything, and if you don't fix everything, then you're screwed. Let's see if I can. Let's see. That should work. Okay, good. That's there. What else? What's the other one I have to do? I have to do that. Oh. I think the countdown, but I already did the countdown, so I'm not worried about that. Well, we see what happens. Anyway, welcome back to the Morning Night Live. Hello, Select Boy.
Yeah, boy.
You missed all the fun. Let's do this. I wanted to show you a video of we had mentioned Christmas, and like I said, this young lady, well, let's just say she had an interesting Christmas. Let's just look at this one. Here we go.
In it. No, it's in it. I ran out of boxes, I promise. It's in there. That's the last. It's inside of there, I promise.
Oh, she's getting her Christmas present.
What?
Look in there.
Oh, what is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is this?
DNA test report. Yeah. 0% paternity probability.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Our son? Nah, yeah, that's not me. This right here say my son ain't my son. And you ain't even got nothing to explain because this explained it already. Yeah, matter of fact, no, it's not. Go to the next page. I'm going to show you how much I'm joking. I'm going to show you divorce settlement agreement. Divorce settlement. I already pre-made it up.
Merry Christmas to you. Yeah, that's not good. That's a little rough for Christmas. I don't think that was what she was expecting. And you never know if any of these if they're real or not. But that'd be a rough Christmas present. He'd been planning that shit. Anyway, we were on Boxing Day, and I don't know what Boxing Day is other than they say it's the day that the gifts are reboxed that you didn't want and you give them to the servants. But does everyone have servants? Like Canadians? Canada, do you have servants in Canada? I know they celebrate in Canada and Australia and England. We don't do it here in the States. And I'm just concerned Someone says, can I get 120 comments as my Boxing Day gift from you all? I don't know. Let's see. And I didn't retweet the news stream, so they'll figure it out. Who knows? So anyway, happy Boxing Day for people who celebrate Boxing Day. It's also the first day of Kwanza. Happy Kwanza to people who celebrate Kwanza again. I know that a lot of people like to talk about how Kwanzaa is a fake holiday. Okay, it's not necessarily a holiday. It's just a celebration that someone who came up for African Americans to celebrate, not as a religious holiday, but just as a celebration, kind of like, like German people still like celebrate Oktoberfest, or Italians celebrate Columbus Day or whatever. This was something that someone came up with, and Mother's Day and Father's Day are made up holidays too. But so I'm not on that. I'm not. Kwanzaa doesn't bother me anymore. It's like, in fact, my mother used to celebrate Kwanzaa in her later years. I don't know why she started doing it. Maybe because my guess is that some people at her church started doing that. So anyway, hello, Renee Mayette. Hope you had an amazing Christmas. Unacceptable Views, my other favorite Canadians here too. Good to see you all. You missed the fireworks when the chat died. So anyway, some people are mentioning Kwanzaa, and I'm getting annoyed by the people who are talking about it being a fake holiday. I don't care if it's a fake holiday. If some people celebrate it, okay, great for them, and more power to them. So anyway, I know that my friend Hotep Strong Dad celebrates Kwanzaa. Day one, Umoja. Hotep is all about uniting principle, especially the uniting of God and self. Enjoy the day, family. So there you go. Happy Kwanzaa. Whereas Jason Whitlock is just the opposite. Kwanzaa is a fake holiday started by a felon convicted of torturing and kidnapping women. Dr. Maulana Karenga, the founder of Kwanzaa, was likely a CIA operative. Kwanzaa is a bogus religious holiday intended to push black people away from Christianity. No, Jason, it's not. That's the thing. It's irrelevant. There's no relation to Christianity. There are Christians who celebrate Kwanzaa. And so I'm just like, whatever. It's kind of weird, though, the Cleveland Guardians put out Happy Kwanzaa. But, whatever. There's probably some Guardians who celebrate Kwanzaa, whatever. So, but again, I can't be mad about Kwanzaa anymore. I just can't. I'm not at all. I'm just like, if you want to celebrate it, celebrate it. If you don't. Also, the New Year's coming up, 2025, will be it's the 1999 of the, what do you call it when you have not a bicentennial, when you have 250 years? Is there a name for that? Does anyone know the name for 250 years of America? We're in the final the New Year's Eve of years for the 250 years of America, whatever. I don't know if there's a name for it, but anyway, hope you all plan to have a good 2025. Kind of one of those numbers that every quarter, it's a quarter of a century. Can you believe though that we've already hit a quarter of a century in the 2020s, or what is it, the 2000s? That's wild. It's been 25 years since Y2K, right? That's wild. Good morning, Reaction Puerto Rico. So anyway, all right. Beyonce's trending. Apparently, Beyonce performed at a football game, and people are losing their fucking minds. Here's my take on Beyonce doing the halftime at the football game in Houston on Christmas Day. She's doing what she does for a living. She's a performer. She was performing. Who gives a shit? Whether you like Beyonce or not, and I'm not necessarily a fan of Beyonce, but our friend Jeff Charles, formerly at Red State, now at townhall.com, made a good point. If Beyonce were a Trump supporter, would all the Trump people be supporting her and all the anti-Trump people be against her? I don't want to be tribal about who the fuck we watch as entertainers. If Beyonce is performing at the Super Bowl, more power to it. Now, some people said it was a terrible performance. The Beyonce fans loved it. Other things, and also apparently she brought her daughter up there. Blue Ivy was dancing up there with her and stuff, and I think Post Malone was up there because he's trending too. He jumped on stage with in a blue denim jean covered pickup truck. But you know, how are we getting Satan worshiping from Beyonce? I don't know. Someone said that she's just Satan worshiping something. So anyway, you know, there are more other things to get worked up about. I'm becoming a little bit cynical about some of my brethren, my conservative friends on the internet, who are wasting time bitching about Beyonce and even Kwanza, because it's like, you know, those are things that we shouldn't even bother with. If you don't like Beyonce, don't listen to Beyonce. Now, I know a lot of people find it controversial that she did a country music album, and apparently she sort of did some of that music at this Houston Super Bowl. But she's a native of Houston, Texas, and she's a worldwide popular performer. Who gives a shit? That's all I got to say about that. Meathead is trending. Rob Reiner. Apparently, Rob Reiner. It appears that Rob Reiner, Meathead, has deleted his Twitter account. Rob the Snob Reiner. He really was Meathead. Mad Cow. Okay, that's not what it is. So anyway, and also apparently he's also checked himself into. I don't know. Someone says he checked himself into TDS rehab. I don't know about that. Meathead pulled a Houdini, deleted his account, and checked into TDS rehab. I don't know what that means. So Rob Reiner has said, oh, but by the way, some people are wondering, because remember before the election, Rob Reiner famously said that he would set himself on fire if Donald Trump becomes president again. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Can't post any of Meathead's bad tweet. He deleted his account and ran to TDS rehab. Okay, there you go. Oh, Stephen King. Can't find Meathead, but Stephen King's still on X. So there you go. That's what that's about. Now, since I'm running out of time, let's get to the main story today. There have been a lot of people on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, a lot of the lefties who are flocking over to Blue Sky or whatever else they go. And they're saying that they're complaining about this election, saying this election was stolen, that the Russians did something, or Elon Musk bought the election, or they did some keyboard shenanigans to hack voting machines or whatever, because they cannot believe that Donald Trump won all the swing states, right? And also the fact that they don't want him to take office because he incited an insurrection, which he did not, but whatever, because there was no insurrection, first of all. There was a small riot that broke out at the Capitol that day, but most of the people there were peaceful, and then the people who went into the Capitol, most of them were very orderly and whatever. But anyway, there was no insurrection. But my point is, a lot of people on the left are trying to figure out ways and are hoping that there are ways and dreaming that there are ways and having fantasies about that some miracle is going to happen, that Joe Biden's going to declare the election null and void and install Kamala Harris, or they will, that the Supreme Court's going to say, no, you can't be a president because you're an insurrectionist, or that Congress is going to vote to make Donald Trump ineligible to be president. Okay, that's the thing. And most people just laugh at them and go, yeah, now who's the election denier now? That's my tactic. I'm like, oh, look at all these election deniers, right? Well, today or yesterday or what, I don't know what day it is, The Hill put an article out that had the headline that's right up there. Okay, here, let's see it better. The Hill plotting an insurrection by saying Congress has the power to block Trump from taking office, but lawmakers must act now. It's an opinion piece by Evan Davis and David Schulte. Now, I want to find this article. Everyone's pointing posting the headline, but not necessarily the article. The opinion writers at the Hill claim that under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, Congress has the power to block President Trump from taking office, to which this person says, no, they don't. I don't notice. Here's the article itself, though. Let's pull this up because we're going to read this. We're going to go through this because I'm pretty sure that they're talking straight out of their hind parts. But, you never know. They might. Let's see if they actually have a point. Oh, wow. Someone talking about common sense revolution. We'll have to play this video after we read the article. So here it is. Congress has the power to block Trump from taking office, but lawmakers must act now. Or as Keith Olbermann say, they must act now. Okay, that was my Keith Olbermann impression. The Constitution provides that an oath-breaking insurrectionist is ineligible to be president. This is the plain wording of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. Quote, no person shall, ellipse, because they're leaving out much of this, hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who, having previously taken an oath, another ellipse, leaving out some of it, to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid and comfort to the enemies thereof. This disability can be removed by a 2/3 vote in each house. Now, I want to first, let's look at what parts they left out. Let's see, 14th Amendment. To the Constitution. Let's see, U.S. Constitution, 14th Amendment, National Archives, right here. Now, here it is. Now, let me see what they left out. No, now, this is funny because here's what they left out. Again, we'll look at this. They do an ellipse right after the word no person shall. Well, and then hold any office. Okay, let's see what they left out, though, because this is interesting. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who having previously taken an oath. Is that where they left off? Hold any office. Yeah, they left that out. They left a whole bunch out there. Now, let's read through it. Because you notice what's missing here. It says elector of president or vice president. Does it say president or vice president? No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector, as in the Electoral College, elector of president and vice president, or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States, under any state who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature or an executive or judicial officer of any state, support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same or given aid and comfort to enemies thereof. So so far we don't have anything. First of all, the whole engaged in insurrection thing, that's hilarious because they would have to come up with a new definition of engaged in insurrection to have even that apply to Donald Trump. So they'd have to have a whole new definition of insurrection if they try to apply that to Donald Trump. But let me continue here in the article. Disqualification is based on insurrection against the Constitution and not the government. The evidence of Donald Trump engaging in such insurrection is overwhelming. Is it? Is it? The matter's been decided in 3 separate forums. What? 2 of which were fully contested with the active participation of Trump counsel. What are you talking about? Look, you mean the one that said no, that he was... Okay, here's where they're going to come up with these. So here, The first fully contested proceeding was Trump's second impeachment trial on January 13, 2021. Then President Trump was impeached for incitement of insurrection. At the trial in the Senate, 7 Republicans joined all Democrats to provide a majority for conviction, but failed to reach the 2/3 vote required for removal from office. So he was acquitted by the rules. Inciting insurrection encompasses engaging in insurrection against the Constitution or giving aid and comfort to the enemies thereof, the grounds for disqualification on Section 3. Wait a minute. What? Wait. So they didn't. No, there was no majority for conviction because there is no majority for conviction. Oh my God. The second contested proceedings was the Colorado 5-day judicial They're going to use Colorado? Oh my God. Hang on a second. Let me fix something here. They're going to use Colorado, which was overturned by the Supreme Court. Now they're going to claim that the Supreme Court did not say there was no insurrection. I'm going to bet that. I haven't read this story yet, but it sounds funny to me. By the way, thank you, Tyre Alexander. I'm going to fix that. Here we go. There you go, Tyre Alexander. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Dropping a $2.30 in the tip jar. It says, reason why the president or VP wasn't written in that clause was because the Congress at the time felt there was no way in hell a president could be a rebel and be elected by the people at the time. Mind you, this was drafted after the Civil War had ended. Yes, that is correct. And I am fascinated that they still claim that he was part of an insurrection or led an insurrection too, but it's clearly the president's not part of that line there. So here they go. The second contested proceeding was the Colorado 5-day judicial due process hearing. See what they're doing there? They're putting in words that make it sound like there was actually due process in this. First of all, Colorado has no jurisdiction under these matters. So this one is so completely moot, it doesn't matter. Colorado had no jurisdiction in determining the eligibility of the president to be elected to inaugurate as president of the United States. They have no jurisdiction. It's not a state. It has nothing to do with the state. The state doesn't determine the eligibility for president. They can't do it on their own. So they say found clear and convincing evidence that President Trump engaged in insurrection. By the way, that wasn't even in the question. The judge in that case decreed that Trump was engaged in insurrection. That wasn't part of the trial. Anyway, let me continue here. On those terms, as those terms are used in Section 3, the Colorado Supreme Court affirmed on further appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court, the court held that states lack power to disqualify candidates for federal office and that federal legislation was required to enforce Section 3. The court did not address the finding that Trump had engaged in insurrection. It was moot. It was a moot point because they couldn't, that's not their, they didn't have to. Finally, there is a bipartisan inquiry on the House Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the United States. False! It's only bipartisan because a couple of the people in the committee had R's behind their name, but were not properly appointed to the committee. The committee itself was illegitimate. It was not a proper committee under the rules of the Congress of the United States of America and the House of Representatives. So it's irrelevant. I'm going to go. So let me read this again. Finally, there is the bipartisan inquiry of the House Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the United States Capitol More than half the witnesses whose testimony was displayed at its 9 public hearings were Republicans, including members of the Trump administration. The inescapable conclusion of this evidence is that Trump engaged in insurrection against the Constitution. In particular, Trump unlawfully demanded that his vice president, Mike Pence, throw out votes in the Electoral College for political opponent Joe Biden, a power he did not have. While the riot was in progress, Trump uses Pence's rejection of his demand to further inflame the crowd and cause them to chant, "Hang Mike Pence." How did he do that? Through mind bending, mind reading? How would he do that if he wasn't in the crowd? How could he use, what did they say? While the riot was in progress, Trump used Pence's rejection of his demand to further inflame the crowd and cause them to chant, "Hang Mike Pence"? How? He was, oh my God. You're like, you guys are making shit up. Some will argue that the Supreme Court decision in the Colorado case, Trump versus Anderson, precludes Congress from rejecting electoral votes when they convene on January 6th on the basis of the 14th Amendment disqualification. This view lacks merit for 3 reasons. First, the majority's suggestion that there must be new implementing federal legislation passed pursuant to the enforcement power specified in the 14th Amendment is what lawyers call dicta. Dicta are the... There's a joke in there. I don't have time. Are the musings of an opinion that are not required to decide the case. The holding that Section 3 was not self-executing may be an alternate holding, but thoughts about the kind of implementing statute required are plain dicta. Dicta are not precedential, not presidential, but presidential. The 4 dissenters strenuously objected to this part of the opinion as overreach to decide a question not presented. This overreach is a power grab which Congress is not required to credit. Well, guess what? You still have to have some federal body that officially claims that Donald Trump is part of an insurrection. You do not have that. The January 6th committee is an illegitimate committee, has no power. Okay? In fact, they pretty much, they had some subpoena power that they weren't supposed to have that's going to end up in the Supreme Court too. The Colorado decision, not their jurisdiction. And the Senate acquitted Donald Trump in that particular impeachment. Okay. Second, the Electoral College vote is a matter uniquely assigned to Congress by the Constitution. Under well-settled law, this fact deprives the Supreme Court of a voice in the matter because the rejection of the vote on constitutionally specified grounds is a non-reviewable political question. Sort of. Hello, Sapphire Dragon. Sort of. You still have to be able to follow the Constitution. The Supreme Court will always can always weigh in on constitutional matters. But there's still no entity that has actually claimed that that was even an insurrection, let alone that Donald Trump was a participant of an insurrection. So there you go. Third, the specific legislation designed for the situation already exists. The Electoral Account Act was first enacted in 1887 and later amended and restated in 2022. The statute provides a detailed mechanism for resolving disputes as to the validity of the Electoral College votes. Well, the Electoral College has already met, and they've already determined that they're going to send the votes in as they were won by the popular vote within each state. So you got a tough hurdle right there. The act specifies 2 grounds for objection to an electoral vote: if the electors from a state were not lawfully certified, already too late, they've already been done, or if the vote of 1 or more electors was not regularly given. Oh, but they did that Electoral Vote Act where electors cannot, you cannot, what do they call it? When they have to vote the way that they were elected to be electors. That'd be fascinating. Anyway, the act specified 2 grounds for objection to the electoral vote: if the electors from a state were not lawfully certified, or if the vote was 1 or more electors of one or more electors was not regularly given, a vote for a candidate disqualified by the Constitution is plainly in accordance with the normal use of the words not regularly given. Disqualification for engaging in an insurrection is no different from disqualification based on other constitutional requirements such as age, citizenship from birth, and 14 years of residency in the United States. Again, you have no entity that has legally claimed that Donald Trump was part of an insurrection. That's your problem right now. To make an objection under the Count Act requires a petition signed by 20% of the members of each house. What? If the objection is sustained by a majority vote in each house, the vote is not counted and the number of votes required to be elected is reduced by the number of disqualified votes. If all votes for Trump were not counted, Kamala Harris would be elected president. This is funny. The unlikelihood of congressional Republicans doing anything that might elect Harris as president is obvious, but Democrats need to take a stand against Electoral College votes for a person disqualified by the Constitution from holding office unless and until this disability is removed. No less is required by their oath to support and defend the Constitution. So this is someone from the Columbia Law Review. David Schulte is an editor-in-chief of the Yale Law Journal, both clerked for Justice Potter Stewart. Davis is a New York lawyer who served as president of the New York City Bar, and Schulte is a Chicago investment banker. So there we go. Now, I'm curious how people have responded to this on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. As I just go, I'm just going to read a few of these and then I'm going to get out of here. I have several articles open, but thanks to our little hubbub flub and whatever the blue screen happened, we're kind of screwed for time. So, redheaded libertarian, this is Josie, says Evan A. Davis and David M. Schulte have no understanding of the U.S. Constitution and have appeared to get their information from blogs. Okay. This guy's Righteous Crusader, the typist who wrote this screed without evidence accusing President Trump of being an insurrectionist while at the same time advocating for an actual insurrection against a duly elected president. You can't make it up. Other people, the Hodge twins, this is a real insurrection against the will of the people. Sounds insurrection-y. This is an insurrection. Sounds very insurrection-y. Frog of shame. If the frog of shame gets more likes than the original tweet, then your tweet really sucks. I'll just pop a like there. Congress needs to act now before it's too late. What's neat is that you can take a screen grab of who's sponsoring the Hills article selection. Any thoughts, AARP? Oh my goodness. Dictator Trump and Vice Dictator Vance, along with co-president Musk, will not like this message at all, especially after they destroyed democracy. You might want to plan a trip to another country where they don't have extradition treaties within the U.S. with the U.S. What are you talking about? Oh my God. No, and so Renita Broderick says they wouldn't dare. Guess what? They would dare, and they will dare, and I guarantee you they're going to try. And we'll see how Kamala Harris handles this at the head, the desk there. This is going to be interesting if they try this. It's pretty amazing. And the proper response is cope. I am your president. All right, that's it. All right, I got to call it a day, guys. I apologize for the technical glitches. I got some other articles in here, all kinds of good stuff. We'll be back tomorrow with our Friday Q&A and everything else we do on Fridays. Thank you to people who have tweeted out the show, especially all of you who put the new stream up. I did not, part 2. Thank you, Somnambule Nation. I'll retweet that because I didn't even bother because I was taking a poop. So that's it. I gotta go. Thanks for joining me on the Morning Night Live. We'll be back tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. Links coming right. Let's see. There we go. Copy, paste. There we go. All right. Here's today's links in the chat. and I'll drop in the description. I got to go. My name's P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.